Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco dish out on the movies. And today, guess what? I'm doing Marco's review because he's a little under the weather from something he ate at lunch. And I ate the same place, but I'm not under the weather, so I don't know what it is he ate. But anyway, he's not feeling good, so I'm going to try to do this. And what I'm reviewing is a new release movie called Wu Lin, The Society. The movie starts off by dating itself 2 years by an exposition stock footage sequence where they state, quote, everyone wears mask. There's no vaccines for any diseases. There's one company trying to find a cure, though, end quote. It's supposed to be the year 2052, but instead it looks like 2022 Cleveland. There is no attempt at making the environment look futuristic other than the gadgets people use. And what do you mean by that, Marco? You mean today or just what they made up?
What they made up.
Okay.
They meant the only futuristic things.
Okay, but they're limited. The most prevalent gadget in the movie is a quote wrist connector, quote, aka a microchip implanted in your arm which functions as a phone. But instead of looking futuristic, it just looks cheap. Like they could afford the computer effect to put a screen projecting from someone's wrist, but they couldn't afford some spare junk to make a real gadget. There's also weirdly shaped computers and stick lights as future gadgets, and there's special light-up glowing hamster balls that shoot hallucinating gas from them. They look like an elementary school child was trying to pretend he's the Green Goblin and throws pumpkin bombs. It looks as goofy as imaginable. Getting back to the mask in the movie are the weirdest or stupidest things I've ever seen. It's laughable someone with a brain would wear these and think they're protecting themselves from a virus of some kind. They have wide open spaces around the top, sides, and bottom that would let anything and everything into their noses and mouths. And they are made out of clear plastic, so you can see the actors' disgusting breathing on the mask. It made me sicker the whole movie thinking how gross it would be to smell your own breath all day long. The people wear these masks in their homes, which is unbelievable. It doesn't make sense that in 2052, everyone would mindlessly do these idiotic things. They kiss each other with their mask on, too. The stupidity of this kind of mask wearing is something that takes away 95% of the film's enjoyment. The only good thing one could get from having people wearing these goofy masks is to have a victim in a murder mystery being strangled and you only see the mask as the breathing stops. Or if the killer's mask with the breathing is illuminated in the shadows while everything around is in black. It is just not worth it, though. In terms of the story, there's some cult that does sacrifices while they're surrounded by tiki torches. They take revenge on stuff. I don't really know. There's 2 cops investigating, leading the movie to serve as a buddy cop movie. It's unfortunate these cops are dimwits who can't act. One of them had a hilariously bad line where he says, "He's not our witness, he's insane." Eventually, that witness says, "If you, F you," and shoots all the good guys to help the bad guy. The main bad guy is purposefully dressed up like a Mortal Kombat character. He also teleports constantly, like in the game. And most of the fight scenes feel like a Mortal Kombat fan film. If this was a Mortal Kombat fan film, it would be better, because then I could say, quote, "they are fans and wanted to do something cool," end quote. But this was a legitimate attempt at an action movie. The fight scenes are okay. The highlight of the film is how each fighting scene has its own arena. They all look straight out of a video game. But the story is not there. I did not ever really know what was going on, and I didn't care. The stupidest thing in the film was when the cops let an ordinary citizen come with them to stop the dangerous cult. They put her life in danger needlessly. What makes the movie even worse is the dialogue. Some of the lines are worded in a way where I wondered if a human being wrote them or a free-thinking AI robot. The actors actually deliver the lines just as a robot would. The movie actually ends with a post-credit scene where the mom of the villain is in prison. She was the leader of the cult, by the way. She does a stereotypical movie villain laugh as if she's going to continue being a cult leader, even though her son was killed for it. This is definitely not the best movie of the year. It's in the lower end of movies of 2022 because it's dated, boring, and generic. I did like seeing behind-the-scenes footage in the post-credits because it showed the actors were not, in fact, robots. In terms of food, this movie reminded me of earlier this year when I asked Safi to make beef stroganoff again. We had made Natalie Wood's recipe twice, and I loved it. Safi forgot and got a whole new recipe. She made it, and it was really generic compared to that original recipe. Sorry. Just like the stroganoff, why would I watch Wu Lin the Society if I could just watch Mortal Kombat? Okay, everybody, that is the end of Marco's review.
What's your review?
Of Wu Lin the Society.
What's your review?
I don't know. I never saw this movie. I don't think I'd want to see it. It sounds boring. I mean, I could read this review 10 times and I'd still not want to see it.
Well, I thought you were going to add in your little comments about what you thought about what I said.
Oh, I thought it was very honest. And, in fact, I noticed one glaring thing, and that was the story is questionable. And that is the main problem with, well, almost, I'd say, 90% of everything we see is lacking a good story. People want to hear a good story. It doesn't matter whether it's drawn out or long or medium. They just want to know hear a good story, see a good story. They appreciate good acting, and they also appreciate at least some semblance of authenticity. And Marco was saying things about the mask, where there's openings all around, and the point of a mask is to cover your nose and your mouth.
Well, here, look. This is like...
It's
look
just
at that. Look, it's like underneath it's open, the sides are open, the top is open.
And it's no good. I mean, if you're going to go to the trouble of wearing a mask, then you would wear a mask. And that's really kind of... Marco is showing me pictures of the film on the computer and the mask that they use in the film. And, you know, Asians, like in Japan, for example, they have been wearing masks for years, way before COVID, because they don't like germs. And they've been wearing masks for years with no problem. In fact, when COVID first broke out, you know, and it spread out, these Asian countries, Korea, Japan, they didn't have a problem with wearing a mask. But what he's showing me is nothing. It would not protect you from anything. It wouldn't protect you from getting a cold.
And they said that they didn't say it was to protect from one virus in general. They said it was to protect from all the types of viruses in the future.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, I don't think so.
Well, that's probably kind of a dystopian, you know, little element thrown in there. That's all I can say. But it sounds like Marco made an effort to watch this movie. He did the best he could to give it a good review. And I hope you appreciated it. And I hope you didn't mind my reading his words. And that I hadn't seen it. But he just now at least showed me some pictures of the movie so I could kind of give some visual representation to the words. So, goodbye, everybody.